and I won't buy me a boat. Be a hand-me-down just so long as she floats. She gonna take me far away from the treacherous land, 'cause the storms they are closing in. This hive with this pride's grown too big for this tree, and it's tearing at the seams, at least my arms can be free. I go so now I flow wherever the breeze it takes me, 'cause the storms they are closing in. Closing in. There's a place, it's so fruitful, it's bleeding, and there's lost souls, 'cause everyone's life has a meaning. So damn fine, oh it's amazing. Only that problem is it's only a daydream, so far away. Come on little lady, tell me when's it gonna be that you'll accept there's much to life than what's commercially seen. More than fancy Oz rags, smothering drama queens. Boom, the storms are closing in, 'cause there's a whole new world behind the wooden door. Sky blue ceilings and grass upon the floor, and trees for walls that go on forever, and storms are not welcome in. Welcome in. There's a place so fruitful, it's bleeding, and there's lost souls, 'cause everyone's life has a meaning. So damn fine, oh it's amazing. Only that problem is it's only a daydream, so far away. Last 6 months ex-council accommodation. I'm paying full whack for the scraps in my own damnation. Skating through my shoes every day just to make it to the work on time. All these other clowns go work.
So this is our new sliding door window, glass one, donated to us by a nice guy from Nashville, just outside Nashville. Gave it to us, and he thought it was going to be too big, which it was. Comes out of an early 80s Vanagon, which apparently the windows were bigger, and subsequent models in the later 80s were smaller, which ours is a later model. Unfortunately, to make life even more complicated, was someone had taken out the glass window and cut the frame. Hence we've got a different rubber seal here, and they've cut the frame out a little bit bigger to accommodate one of these plastic windows, double glazed, which sounds fantastic, but after a few years they go brittle and they shatter, so they're not really the way forward. Glass is better. So we took this window, and yesterday I took out the plastic one. It fell apart, taking it out. I did manage to salvage the rubber seal and use it again, luckily. I had to cut the frame. This part here is the manufacturer's join, so this was a manufactured joint. Nothing holding this together apart from the glass. Over here and here I've manually cut the frame to make it shorter. Luckily for me, the window was the right height, so it fit just inside the existing opening that we were left with. So having made the metal smaller this way, I then had to take out the metal locking bar at the top and cut that again so that it would fit the reduced size here, because obviously the fixed pane of glass hasn't changed. The frame has changed, and so the position of the sliding part has then moved. And you'll probably notice that I've got the lock at the top. It's supposed to be at the bottom. Now that was a mistake, because I didn't understand how it worked, because I've never had one of these before. And what I didn't realise was there's supposed to be a spring inside the sliding part there, which holds it up and therefore locked. I couldn't understand how this could possibly work. If gravity pulled it down all the time, it would be unlocked and then opening. So I deduced, wrongly, not knowing there was a spring missing, that it should go this way up. And of course I didn't research on YouTube, which I would have been advised to have done. So anyway, I put it in upside down, put the locking bar at the top instead of the bottom where it should be, and it works just fine. Gravity holds the lock down now, so its default position is to drop and drop into the lock position. So that has turned out to be hopefully acceptable. I've had to seal all this with I thought it was a black silicone sealant, and it wasn't. It's some sort of roofing mastic, and it's left a pretty horrible finish, which I'm not very proud of. And it was so hot in the sunshine today that it made a horrible finish because it was curing quicker than I could wipe it clean. But anyway, it's in, it's sealed, and time will tell if it's satisfactory. And I'll just show you the inside. So here's the inside view. Here's the locking bar with the notches for the latch to fall into. So this is normally the other way up, and a spring holds that up, which is down in this installation, and it should be there. So I've put that in there, had to recut it. So the curved piece, I had to recut that because it was the other way around. And works just fine. And when you slide back, gravity does the job, pulls the lock into position. So the default position is locked. And I think that's a satisfactory and very lucky accidental fix. Again, I've just sealed around here just for tidiness with this piece of stuff was already on it, this rubbery thing that covers up the cut on the inside skin, and sealed that with the same horrible black gooey stuff, which hopefully sets and makes a half decent job. It'll certainly keep us going for the next year or two anyway, until we find another solution, if there is another one. And yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. Window needs a bit of a clean up, but it's infinitely better than the yellow plastic that was cracked and could have been potentially a security risk because it looked very vulnerable, and to be honest, leaning on it with any amount of force and you'd have been in. That's about it. Sliding window, adapted, cut by hand. Don't know if you can see that just there. Let's turn it around. So there's the cut. Another cut up here. Cut by hand. Not welded. I tried to take it to a welding fabricator yesterday and they said, oh, come back on Monday. I can't stop what I'm doing now for a $200 job. And I thought, well, that's $200 is a lot of money just to make 2 welds. And it seemed as though it was unnecessary to weld it anyway, as it came factory made with a loose joint in it, and it seems to have worked satisfactorily. So the glass is glued in here and holds it in place, and I think it's done the job just fine. Probably not the best way of doing it, but on the road, an acceptable solution, I believe. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps anybody that finds it useful. If I'd have seen it, it would have been helpful for me, and I wouldn't have made that mistake.